Folks, we need to understand that Jesus was there at the beginning as an eyewitness to creation. The first verse of the Bible presupposes God. And the very first verse in John shows that Jesus was with God and is God. God exists outside of what we consider our reality. He lives outside of what astronomers call space-time. Psalm 90 verse 2, from everlasting to everlasting thou art God. Psalm 102:25, of old hast thou laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the work of thy hands. Isaiah 57:15, the high and lofty one that inhabiteth eternity. Jesus is not created, but is a citizen of eternity. And as such, he is an eyewitness to creation. And the verse, John 1:3, is pretty much in the same breath as John 1:1 and 2, continuing the same idea. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. The fact that this is said of him, that all things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made, further affirms his deity. He is the agent of creation. And if he is the agent of creation, as John 1 verse 3 shows, he could not be a creative being. He could not be a created being. If you believe the Bible, you cannot believe that Jesus was a created being. There are only two choices. He is either the creator or he is part of the creation. Those are the only two choices you have. You cannot fudge them. You cannot manipulate them. You cannot change them. He is either the creator and was in eternity, or he is part of the all things that are created. Period. Now, the only kind of evidence, because I'm speaking about Jesus as an eyewitness, the only kind of evidence that is supported by both basic logic and the laws of evidentiary support that we use in our court system is eyewitness testimony. And we have it. Jesus Christ is the only eyewitness to creation. Now, I know the Father, I know the Spirit. Yes, they were eyewitnesses as well, but Jesus is the one who became a man. Okay? As the only eyewitness to creation, God is the only one qualified to tell us how he did it. Let that sink in. As the only eyewitness to creation, God is the only one qualified to tell us how he did it. If Jesus is the creator, and John 1, verses 1 through 3 is tied to Genesis 1:1, and it is, well, Jesus must have had something to say about creation. Matthew 19:4. Have you not read that he which made them at the beginning, made them male and female, made them at the beginning? Yes, Jesus had something to say about creation. Jesus is referring to the Genesis account. How can you believe in Jesus when he claims to be your Lord and Savior from that horrible place called hell, if you won't believe him when he teaches you about creation? John 3 verse 12, he said this, if I have told you earthly things, and ye believe not, how shall ye believe if I tell you of heavenly things? The only kind of evidence considered direct evidence is eyewitness testimony. We have the eyewitness testimony. Jesus is the creator and is the eyewitness to what he did. It bothers me a great deal when I read that 38% of people who identify as evangelical Christians believe that science disproves the Bible. Listen, I'm going to spend the next 2 weeks preaching on the theology of science, showing how the Bible had many scientific facts in it long before science discovered them. And is so trustworthy in all matters, not just theology. God created, and he created the way he said he created. There are many things upon which we can disagree. No problem. I have no problem disagreeing on some things and still calling people my brother. But the integrity of God's word is not one of them. And the integrity of the creation account is based on the integrity of God's word. Seeing that many have had their faith made shipwreck by such foolish notions as the Bible having errors in it or the Bible having lies in it. We must take the biblical account of the creation and the identity of the Creator literally. People need to quit telling God how He did it. He is the only eyewitness. He was there. We were not. Theistic evolution, as well as every other attempt to compromise on the Word beyond what it itself declares, makes God into a liar. As I pointed out, in logic and in court, the only kind of evidence considered direct evidence is what? Eyewitness testimony. Period. It only takes one credible eyewitness to convict somebody of murder.